No countdown.
CBS guy showed up just as I was trying to leave yet.
You are now live on Channel 8 and YouTube.
Thank you. Let's open up the March meeting of the Templeton CPC meeting. We will welcome everybody on board and start by looking at the minutes. We have another fine copy of the minutes available. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to review them. And do we have any comments or anything about them? Discussion? We had a very busy meeting last month.
Mhm.
Wow, we've really expanded now. We got like a side table.
Like a round table.
Accept the meeting, minutes.
Been, a motion has been made and seconded to accept the minutes as presented. Any discussion?
I'll second.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you very much. All right, check. Would we have an admin?
Not much. Since I last saw you guys, Mr. Henshaw and I met with the library about the library fund. And they are going to proceed forward with that. Him and I also met with the grant writer administrator regarding the park grant to just see what her role was in that and make sure that it was going to overline with the master plan. And I went on a site walk to Houghton Park with other town representatives. Candace was there, John was there, and some other people from different departments. That's it for me.
Great, well, thank you.
Yep.
So as we roll into the CPC finances, that's probably, what we'll end up doing is talking about all the projects that we have anyway.
And I handed out your sheets. That's the financial report, including the buckets and the individual project accounts.
So obviously, last month we voted the articles for the upcoming annual town meeting. And as we go to the projects themselves, I'm going to kind of roll that into the number 4 current projects thing. And as we've discussed last month, the conservation balance of 8,000, we're looking at maybe there's a way to leverage that for the dam removal project if need be. The Boynton Library that has $70,000, as Jessica mentioned, and Mike was also there. We met to discuss how they're going to go forward. They're going to look at probably replacing the rehabilitation of the historic structure would be to replace the knob and tube wiring with actual, maybe 1900s, maybe even 2000s technology. So that's ongoing. The Stonebridge issues are still outstanding. We still need to resolve that. Scout Hall, there's been some activity going forward. I believe we've had some discussion too about the signage for that. That's something we're trying to clean up is the signage that we have required for everything. Dwelly Farm, I've seen some activity up there, and I know they're having a walk up there April 6th, I believe, which would be highlighting the work that has been done there through support by Templeton CPC regarding elimination of invasives and continuing on their good work. We finally zeroed out that affordable housing thing, whatever that might have been. It's gone now. That's good. Belleville School project ongoing, and that's a long process to get approvals, but clearly it's going in the right direction. That'll be great. Energy management building study has been completed. We closed out the last Grange Hall project. The drape restoration, there's one small expenditure that's expected to happen this year. The resurfacing, spelled incorrectly, of the tennis courts. Though that has gone out to bid and the bid was awarded. So that's a matter of scheduling when the work is going to happen, as I understand it.
April 8th to whenever they show up. That's where the contract, I think it was like April 8th, was they,
The start date.
yeah,
on the contract.
until June, whatever.
Yeah, and fortunately for us is that we're not tied to the annual budget deadlines of June 30th. So it's,
That's their contract. Their
Okay.
contract was a June, I don't even know if it was 30th. It was in June and it was from April to June. They gave them so much time to get it done.
okay, that'll be good. Yeah, probably June 30th because that's how we into work. The Grange Hall bathrooms, you can see that bounces down to $14,000, so they're getting close to, they're also putting together some signage for that project. That's going good. The Baptist Common Cemetery is down to, there's 11,000 been spent, 26,000 to go. That progress is being made there. And then we're rolling into the next Dwelly Farm project. The master plan of the Houghton Park, as Jessica mentioned, we've had a meeting with that, and there's another meeting next week with the contractor to that. And of course, you know, we have the park grant that the recreational committee got. And Grace Curry is our grant administrator that's working through that. And we're making sure that that which is done through the park grant aligns with the master plan. And Mark, the representative of the engineering firm, has been very accommodating to make sure that everything lines up. So there'll be a meeting on that next week, including, you know, there's been some good input also from the folks representing the veterans as well. So the rehab of Houghton Park is ongoing, and they're going out to bid for both the paving, and then eventually they'll go out for the equipment as well. They have an equipment list, but we have to make sure that that fits within the grade requirements of a park. And so that will tie in with the master plan. And those are the existing projects that we have.
Oh, and I just wanted to say something, because I've gotten some phone calls on it. And, though the grant doesn't kick in until July, there is, because certain things if we're doing it and it's not a part, we're asking for to get money back from it, which we didn't. So we got a lot of phone calls because people want to know where the equipment went in Houghton Park. So all of the swing sets and stuff were taken down, and it was, you know, starting to level out the area. So nobody stole it. It's just making way for the new. But because it's not part of the actual project, we were able to start spring cleaning now.
Yeah, well, thanks for fielding those calls.
Yes,
Because-
they call my personal cell phone. I'm concerned town citizen, and I'm like, I had to tell them, I'm like, no one stole it.
Yeah, so that's the in-kind contribution that the town has made, and thank goodness for Bob and his crew
Yeah.
for taking out that stuff and
Yeah.
getting it ready for the next step, because that stuff, you know, was not up to snuff, but.
It wasn't safe. It shouldn't have been there. It's just, it wasn't
And
safe.
so, you know, you're always gonna get that kind of
Yeah,
feedback from the public when they don't know what's going on.
and they see action, yeah.
Tell everybody,
Yeah.
you know, exactly what's going on all the time. So thank you. Any other questions or comments on the current projects or the finances that we have? I mean, the other side of that is that, you know, as the finances, you can see that we continue to receive, you know, some funds periodically.
As
and-
people pay their taxes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so that gets put right in the buckets and or puts right in, you know, accordingly. And, you know, it's gonna be a busy session coming up for the annual town meeting. You know, we've got all these projects, and I don't know when the warrant will actually be set, but the select board have all of our warrant articles, and they have to go through their legal review. So the projects that we passed last month.
He has it. Yep, you have it, Mr. Henshaw. So to that annual town meeting, I passed out to all of you a draft of what the CPC articles would be.
Yeah, so moving right on to number 5, those are the articles that we have. We have the appropriations article, where we're projecting approximately $465,000. You know, that is kind of an estimate based upon, we don't know exactly what the match will be. It'll be less than it was before, but we're also seeing a lot of new growth. And so that only sets the bounds. It really depends on what we receive as to what we can spend, obviously.
Mhm.
So, and then we have the articles for the Grange Hall, $50,000 to do the lift access at Grange Hall, and hopefully that will put that into a state where we can have a big grand opening and upstairs, downstairs access and bathrooms to boot. So that is being put forward, and then the big item, of course, was the First Church of Templeton, $331,700 to do 3 different levels of the rehabilitation of the front facing of the church, which is the steeple, the pediment, and the whatever they call it, front part, the facade. And then we are gonna go forward, continue to look at the old Bonneville Fire Station, which is the, Templeton Emergency Management Building, to get engineering design and costs so that we can go forward to try to seek the funds to move it forward through the bid process. If the town votes for the money to do the work in the future. So we'll have the documentation in place. So those are the annual town meeting articles.
Annual town meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, May 15th at 6 o'clock. Wednesday, May 15th at 6 o'clock.
At 6,
At 6 o'clock. Yep,
8:16. Yeah.
May 15th at 6.
Okay, sounds good. So that gets us to where we are now. Now is the time where we can talk about something that there's any potential projects or anything that people wanted to bring forward for the future. Obviously, we're at a time right now, we've talked about a lot of projects. We're seeking funding for quite a few this year, and we have a lot on our plate right now. One other project which I did not see and must have missed was the cupola.
It's there.
I
Is it
must
not
have
there?
gone right past it. Oh,
I-
I did right after
Yeah.
that. I always get hung up on that.
Yeah.
That bad spelling thing.
Yeah.
The town hall cupola, I
But-
think is getting bid documents
Yeah.
prepared.
Yep. Bob and Adam are working on that.
Yeah. So, and that cupola is also spelled wrong. But that'll be good, once we go forward on that, but, any other potential? Yes?
Signage for Gilman Waite for like the projects that were in it. How does that work?
I'm glad you brought up signage because that reminds me also that we also have another sign that we need to get clarified, which is is the Stone Bridge Conservation Area off of Dudley Road. We had gotten that project funded through a land grant through conservation. And Dave Coons, who's our conservation agent at the time, did a great job of getting the sign that was compliant with what the state. I kind of missed the boat on adding in the language about the CPA, so we need to put a little add-on and also funded by the residents of the town, Templeton, the CPA. And then that will have to come, that won't be a big sign because it's already a nice sign, it will just be an add-on that we'll have to fund through our administrative budget. And likewise, that will be the case for Gilman if there's no existing project, unless we can fit it into the budget for the monies that are appropriated for the, the pickleball thing.
Okay.
If there,
Yeah, it's estimated to be, if it goes on track, about $4,000 left over.
You can get a sign. for
It's
less than that.
estimated. I mean, I don't know
yeah.
if this is based on what
So
I've been
thank you for
told.
bringing that up, and let's keep that in mind. It's whatever's left over. We will certainly want to make sure we get appropriate signage. This town has done a good job of making signs standardized. And
And you can do multiple projects on one sign.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
just like the sign that.
Bathrooms, the
everybody
pickleball
knows.
courts,
Right,
yeah,
yeah,
you can do multiple
Be the
projects.
catch-all
Right,
sign
alright.
for all the projects that have been done for the.
Because there's like there's like a ball field, I think, and there were different things back in the day too
Yeah.
that CPC did
You can
too.
put them all on one.
Oh.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do a comprehensive sign, just like.
That way, if you have
VFW
any money left in
built.
the tennis court ones, you can include the bathrooms and anything else on
Okay.
that sign as well.
All right.
And I can help you with that. Bob uses a company that quotes great and all the signs look the same recently.
We would like to put it on, probably on the concession
Yep.
stand, because people are,
Yep.
right there.
That's good.
And
Yep,
there's
that's
like,
a good idea.
If you, right before if you,
Put
in
it on
front
the
of
building.
it, there's like a big wall that's nothing
Yep.
on it, so that would probably be a good wall
Perfect.
for it.
The sign out here, the sign out here at the doorway is really nice, I think.
Yeah.
It includes the names of people who actually initiated,
A lot of-
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that was very nice.
And there is going to be some sort of official acknowledgement of that's related to a date when Jeff Ritter's widow will be able to come up, and because the building has been named in his honor. And I don't even remember that date, but it's on a Wednesday. I'm not gonna be able to make it, but I think we're all invited.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I can look.
We'll send a note out to
Sure.
everybody, and if anybody wants to go, that would be good. And I'm sure Maura Healy will be here and maybe even, you know. Who else was that?
Jim McGovern.
Jim McGovern. Okay, so potential projects, you know, I don't know that we have anything really on the radar right now.
No, I do have an update on the audit of the pool. We met out there on Wednesday. Myself, Terry Griffiths, Jessica was with us, and Ivan, who was from the Millis River Watershed Council, with Chris Hull from Time Bond Engineering. We had a great conversation, and he did suggest maybe some possible places to look into for funding. MVP was one, Jessica's handling that. And I looked into one he recommended, dam and seawall repair or removal program. Unfortunately, we're not eligible because it's a non-jurisdictional dam. So
What does that mean?
it doesn't come under dam safety.
Oh,
It's not a high hazard dam.
yeah,
But in talking with Chris, he, you know, he felt pretty confident that it would be a fairly, in his eyes, easy dam to take down.
Standard.
Yeah, and so he's gonna come across with an estimate for us, just to kind of get the ball going. On, the first things you would have to do would be survey and topo, wetland delineation, and like, conceptual design and hydrology. So at least we've got the ball rolling. We have somebody, you know, working with us. Funding is difficult.
Yeah.
Right.
well, I think what we discussed in the past, and you know, we do have $8,000 remaining in the conservation fund. And if this was something that the Conservation Commission thought was, you know, worthy going forward, that $8,000 could be appropriated for that purpose of getting it ready to figure out exactly what it's gonna cost to
Right.
become a CPA funded project. Because it is an open space, it is a passive recreational project. And we know that they're not gonna spend money on it because there aren't people living down below it that are gonna flood if it goes. So, George, have you any thoughts about that with the conservation?
Well, not really, but yeah, it needed to be taken down, but it's a matter of when.
Yeah,
And if we do it a little bit at a time, like they had mentioned years ago. You know, when, what's his name took what he did take down. We should have taken more down next year, yeah. Take it down, you know, a couple of steps, you know, not all at once, that's all.
but would you be willing then because the way that conservation fund is established is that it would be an expenditure initiated by the Conservation Commission to expend that money to do the engineering design and survey and wetland costs to, you know, spend that money to, and then it would go to the CPC for approval. And then that would actually tell us what it's really gonna cost for the whole shebang.
So the
Sure.
permitting package, the tie and bond, is gonna be way over $8,000. So that 8,000 might get us wetland delineations and a survey.
But it'll get us something.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Spend it on it.
It won't
Which
cover
is
their,
the money.
It's up to their board.
There's been comment by the
It won't
advisory
cover it.
board that, you know,
Yeah.
this is a project that we start, you know, it's, the money's
Yeah.
been available for expenditure. And there's also been discussion about potentially using it for, you know, the next
open space.
iteration
plan.
of our open space plan.
Mhm.
Yeah, we can work it up and get it on one of our meetings
Yep.
and,
But you're comfortable with us working with your
well,
agent?
absolutely. It should be done.
Yeah.
Should have been done years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you just gotta put it on your agenda.
We don't, I mean, there's nothing to discuss right now. As soon as I get a quote, you know, I would put it on our agenda.
Right,
Yep.
we'll be waiting for that. And
Yep.
Chris did mention something about if you do get funding, they expect 30% from the town.
It,
Yeah.
he was just saying, expect it to be more like the park grant where you have to have your reserve set up and then it would reimburse you.
Which is ideally what the CPA is all
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very good. Any other projects that anybody wants to bring up or discuss?
We're just looking into that trail stuff, and we know there's possible of a grant, probably more towards next year to apply for that grant. And we're interested in doing some kind of like maybe community garden or something. So looking into that.
Yeah, so now is the time to be thinking about anything that really needs to move forward could be done at a special town meeting in the fall. But then again, we have another annual town meeting next year. So,
Yeah.
you know, I would think because of the fact that we have so much going on right now, that unless there's something like, okay, here's an opportunity where we have a grant where we could get matching funds.
Yeah.
We should try to vote it in the fall. If not, maybe some, roll it into
Let's
the.
try to complete some projects we've
Get them
got.
out of the way, clear the slate a little bit. We've been doing a good job making progress on every
Yeah.
single project.
Yeah,
Anybody know when the cupola is gonna happen?
they're working on the bid packet right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the procurement process
Yep.
always adds a
Right.
time. And then,
Yeah.
but once it's done and then the contract is awarded, then there's at least a fixed window of time. Okay, well, if there's no other potential projects, then now is the time to make any comments or discussion related to what any member would like to say. I don't really have anything to add. Okay, and in the old days, we would say new business, old business, blah, 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 but we don't allow to say all that now, but now we just have to move on to the next meeting.
Thursday, April 11th at 7.
I probably won't be back in time.
Might as well just move on, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hauled him here last week.
Okay, well, thank you. And I hopefully, I've signed up for the walk on April 6th at the North County, you're gonna be out of town for that
Yes,
as
I'm
well. I
signed up.
think Dennis is gonna go, right?
Yes, I'd like to, yeah.
And anybody else that's
Yeah, I
around.
signed up.
Okay, good. Well, we'll be all of us, but it won't be a quorum, so no business to be discussed.
Just want to wish everybody happy Pi Day.
Yes.
Today's also my son Hunter's birthday.
Did you get pie?
No, he gets cake.
Whose birthday?
Hunter's, my son
Oh,
Hunter's
Plus Albert
birthday.
Einstein, right? Albert Einstein's birthday, and there's one other physicist that was in a crossword puzzle today. Yes, anything else?
No, but I'll make a motion. Adjourn.
Is there a second?
I thought.
All those in favor signify by